Good morning, folks. Lester here, and today I'm going to be working at the site of Smithfield here behind me. It's the historical landmark, an old Confederate cemetery here on a very historical property, one that has a lot of significance not only to the history of the United States as we know it, but also to Longhorn Lester's, which is right across the street. We've talked about that a number of times. Working in a cemetery, though, I'll tell you what, I've found my challenges, especially one that people don't know much about. What I did a few minutes ago was took a pitchfork and I walked by and I just literally chomp, chomp, chomp. What I'm feeling for are tombstones. You know, I don't know if it was a money thing or just maybe a little bit easier to do, but a lot of the tombstones from that era were laid flat on the ground. Problem is, over time and without being maintained, grass will grow over them, which is the case for several that we found over here. Let me show you a couple, and which are the only two that I can find. And as soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to find me a way to get in here with my lawnmower. I'm going to have to cut a couple of trees down, small trees, and we're going to mow this thing, guys, and I'm excited about it. All right, so I do have permission from the landowner to be on the property and working in the cemetery. He has given me his permission to do that, and it is an honor to me. It is an absolute honor. He said that there was a time when the Daughters of the Confederacy used to come by and do this for them, and I don't know if just time or possibly just a different era, and they no longer do that. So this is one of the tombstones that we found right over here. I showed this in a previous video. This is Francis Marion Carr, a private from Company B, Texas Infantry for the Confederate States. And then the other one over here is from Robert Jones, also a private, Company A, the 28th Mississippi Infantry, Confederate States. Now, what I'm wondering about, I want to show you something else, and I'm just curious. Now, both of those were privates. Over here we have a second lieutenant, Charles A. Rose, Company I believe, 154th Tennessee Infantry. Guys, do you think that because he was an officer and these guys were just privates, could that be the reason why they gave him, the officer, a different type of tombstone? I'm just curious. I have no idea. But it is something that makes I wonder about. So anyway, let me get working. I got a lot of little things to cut down. I want to cut all of this stuff out of the corner if I can. I'm also going to cut down those two little pine saplings over there. I think I may leave this one. I think I may leave that little pine sapling right there because it is naturally growing here in the center of the cemetery. Well, at least centered amongst these tombstones. It doesn't get in my way. I have to weed it through here anyway. And so I may just go ahead and leave that one for shade. I know that sounds kind of dumb. A lot of people are like, shade? Why do you need shade? Guys, I think that shade in a cemetery is nice. I think it is. But all of this has to be mowed. I have my work cut out for me. You guys stick around a little bit, and let's get this job knocked out, shall we? All right, so I got all those cut out of the way. The corners cleaned up. I'll pile that outside and then get rid of it a little bit later. But what I want to do now is come by these trees here and cut these lower limbs. I don't know what kind of tree this is. You guys might can tell, but I want to cut down these lower limbs here, here, and here so that they, number one, don't rake me off while I'm mowing, but it needs to be pruned back anyway. Excuse me, I'm breathing hard. Over here I have a lot of work to do. I don't know what kind of tree this is. I can't cut it as far back, but I want to remove these lower ones anyway. So we're still chainsawing, and I'm sorry I'm breathing so hard. I haven't worked that hard, really. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've only had to chainsaw a few things. Y'all, bear with me. All right, I have all the limbs tossed over the fence. I'll pick those up before I leave. But what I want to do now is go ahead and raise my mower, the deck up to at least 4 inches, I think, and mow it the first time. That will get rid of all the really high grass and weeds. Then I can come back and look again, maybe go a little bit lower. But I'm gonna say it's unlikely I'll go lower than 3 inches today. So it's gonna take probably 2 cuttings, but it's small. I have a pretty good sized mower, so we should knock this out pretty fast. All right, I got the first cutting done with the 4-inch blade, which is great. It kind of allowed me to make sure there was no wire, there was no trash, there was nothing buried in this high grass that was going to catch up onto my blades and mess my mower up. You hate to throw a blade over here, but or break a belt. But now what I'm going to do is go ahead and lower it down a notch to 3 inches. Go ahead and start blowing from this inside and blowing things out, which will kind of clean up all this grass as I go and push all of the excess grass off to the outside of the cemetery. And then I just realized something. As soon as I sat down and started mowing, I kept breathing, and I was wondering, why am I breathing so hard? And then I realized something. Guys, I'm not exhausted. I'm not tired at all. I'm nervous. I realize that I'm just really, really nervous. I'm anxious. I don't want to mess anything up. I'm excited and I'm nervous, and just so many emotions well up inside of me when I'm working over here. And to bring my mower in for the first time, I wasn't concerned about my mower. I wasn't. I was concerned about just doing it right and doing it pretty and doing it justice. But now I'm so curious about those 2 stones in the ground and on the ground. Just wondering if there's more to it than, or if it was just a basic standard. And then I'm guessing the Confederate States gave those to those soldiers. They didn't make their families pay for them. I wouldn't think. I don't know. So if anyone has any information, guys, I would love for you to comment that or email me or message me. I'd gotten some really neat things last time I was here. Anyway, let me continue on. And this is looking a whole lot better already. All right, well, the last thing I want to do today is go ahead and cut out this little piece of hedge growing right there and go ahead and pile all of my stuff. I'm going to pile it over here with this couple of other old dead limbs are laying. And none of this is poisonous to cows, so we're not worried about the cows coming up and eating on anything. But I'll say it looks a whole lot nicer, looks a whole lot better. And then I want to thank Mr. Duke for allowing me to come onto this property and do this. This is a really neat thing for me, and I know for a lot of you guys who are a part of this journey. Hey, I have another question. This is something I'm kind of curious about. If you notice, these stones are pretty much straight up and down, but all 3 of these, especially that one, have quite a lean to them. They have a lean. That one's not as obvious, but this one over here and this one over here especially have quite the lean. And I don't know how that would have happened. Ground settling, maybe. I can't imagine there was ever any kind of a flood pushing across this high hill. We're way off the we're way above sea level here. But that's kind of interests me. I'm curious about that. Maybe it could have been a cow or something got in here at some point, was pushing on them. That might have been possible. Scratching up against them, maybe. But that's interesting. I'm going to also come back with my weed eater. I don't have it with me now, but I need to weed eat and clean a few things up around this fence, around these posts. But for the most part, I got a bulk of the job done. And it looks really nice, at least considering how it did look. And okay, well, guys, thank you for watching the video. And thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for being a part of this. I will get these stones cleaned up and brushed off. I'm going to come back with some kind of a tool at some point and maybe find something for the stone. What I was told, though, by you guys is do not use just anything. Every type of stone requires a different type of treatment. And so I'm going to have to be real careful with what I use, try to figure out what is what before I just bring a spray bottle of bleach. I'm not going to do that, y'all. I promise. I will take my time and do it right. But thank you all so much for watching. It's been a beautiful day. A lot of neat things are happening here. And I'm so blessed to be a part of it. We'll catch you guys on the next video.
Don't let your troubles fester. Come watch Longhorn Lester.
Yeah, something like that.